Hello, are we rolling? Oh, hello. Welcome back to Review Rant Random. Cue the intro. Hello and welcome to Review Rant Random. Now, I haven't done a Review Rant Random for a very long time. And this is pretty much just going to be a one-off. I'm waiting on a few things to do. You can probably hear a bit of audio in the background from a gig. 2006? Wow, it's like a lifetime ago. The other day in the charity shop, it was free for £3 on DVDs, and they've got quite a lot of DVDs there. And if you watch the November unboxing when it's eventually done, I've got a stack of DVDs, and it's always handy when you do that, because I struggle a lot of times when I go like, right, I'm going to bed, what do I watch? And especially when I've run out of, I've just finished a TV series. It's hard to start getting into a TV series and, getting in a period of attention to a TV series and fall asleep. And I don't like to do it with movies. And then Brit hates us when I do listen to audio commentaries, and I find commentaries really interesting. And it's good when you come back with a stack of DVDs, so you can just plow through them. And it was like, I picked a few up, and one that I was like, oh yeah, I'll give that a try. I'm talking about Sommersby, right? Now, I'm a massive film fanatic from back in the day of VHS shop. Spike there in the background playing is screaming away. Can I turn him slightly down? So basically, I'll turn him up. Again, Review Rant Randoms. These are really random, right? Spike, be quiet. Sorry. Quiet, Spike. Yeah, so I hadn't thought about this. The computer's probably going to even start making noise. I really haven't planned this, but let's talk about Sommersby, because back in the day when you used to rent a VHS, and I'm talking about the Warner Brothers releases, On Deadly Ground, Under Siege, Maverick. Maverick was one of these, and they used to have the yellow trailers. There you go, Stephen, put some font there. Used to always have the yellow font, advertising it on the trailers. And Sommersby was one of those trailers where you're like, oh. And if I think back, it's probably on something I would watch quite regularly, like an Under Siege or something like that, where it was heavily advertised. And, never been a massive fan of Richard Gere. Quite like him in The Jackal, because I like the Jackal movie. I'm not going to run in, I probably own less than 5 Richard Gere movies. Jodie Foster, I can see why people, that is good actors, but she should really come back for Hannibal or whatever. But she was a massive force in the 90s as well, with Contact coming off the back end of Silence and Alarms, and this was like a big one, and a very early 12 rating as well. And this was sitting on the shelf, and it was unopened, still has price tags on, so someone's bought it and never watched it, and I thought, right, it's time to really watch Sommersby. And again, going back to the trailer, I remember the trailer so vividly. Like, I never understood what was going on with this, because he's basically, as the trailer shows, he's meant to be married, he's been missing for a while, he comes back, she's like, you're back, everyone's like, you're back, and then everyone's just like, all of a sudden, your feet are smaller, and it's all like this conspiracy about, like, is he the real person? And you think, this is set like in the early or the late 1800s. I think he died, I don't know what, spoiler alert, 1800s, the back end of that, like 1860 or whatever. And alright, what's the story? I mean, it's always been there, and the music as well. When you hear the score, and the score is very iconic, obviously heavily used in the trailer. And it's just like, you're not my husband because I never loved a man like this. And there's fractions, there's loads of trailers like back in the day that have like burnt in your mind, but you might not exactly watch you've never seen the movie, do you know what I mean? And this is one of them. So I'm watching it, and I watched it and fell asleep. I then watched it last night and fell asleep. I've just watched the end of it, and it starts off, and it's one of those DVDs that just plays, so by the time you get yourself into bed and the television's on, you're like, have I missed something? And I had missed something. I clearly missed a burying a body at the very start of the movie. So, alright, cool. And you watch it, and I think the acting's great. There's a lot of people you recognise, and the fact that he comes back, everyone hey, he's back, and there's a whole as he's walking up to see his wife at the top of the hill, because they seem to be the rich family, the entire town is following him, hey Jack, and he's like, hey everyone, hey. Bill Pullman's in there as well. He was obviously gonna be huge. He was in Independence Day, and while you were sleeping, and he was just there, and he's come back, and he's been sleeping with Jodie Foster. And then the dog's called Jeffrey, of course it is. And then the dog doesn't like him. Bill Pullman's suspicious. Bill Pullman's jealous, and he's like, it's not him. And everyone's just saying, but Jodie Foster's like, oh, you're back? And he's like, yeah, I'm back. And then it starts the conspiracy, and I'm like, hang on, where and how and what the is? I'm trying not to swear on this one. What's going on? Like, what is this? How is this happening? What's going on with this? And I'm watching, and I'm paying attention, and I fell asleep. So then I get back, and then I fell asleep again. Next thing. But I got the gist of the story. I mean, he comes there, he's, he wants to set up a tobacco thing, and it shows you that, and it's like, it builds up and shows you the town, building the tobacco, and he wants to right the town. The house has fallen a bit since he's been long gone. A lot of the surrounding buildings are done. Everyone's just like, just getting by, and they don't, as a town, as a community, they don't have a money chain. They don't have anything to offer. So he comes back with the idea of, tobacco is going to be a big thing. There's even kids smoking little pipes and stuff. You know what I mean? As I say, it's a very, it's a well filmed movie. You know what I mean? Even at the start, he's on this massive walk, and you know what I mean? It's just time and locations for that, and the costumes and stuff. But then it gets to the, there's a lot of, again, back in the times with the racism and stuff like that, and the slavery, it's in there. And again, I think it's Barney, the guy who plays, like, stay to the left, which is obviously spoofed brilliantly in Loaded Weapon 1. I mean, stay to the right! There's like a guy closing up his shop and that. Like he's in Silence of the Lambs with Jodie Foster. So again, there's a lot of people you go, oh yeah, it's such and such from such and such. And, everyone's like, is it him? Is it not him? And then all of a sudden, as they say, right, you're under arrest for murder. And Jodie Foster's just like, you're not him though. And they just say, I am him. I want to be him. And it's like, who are you? Like literally trying to really narrow down. Then James Earl Jones turns up, and everyone in the courtroom's like, shocked. Did you not realise the judge was black? And then just prior to that, the Ku Klux Klan are there, and the burning crosses in the garden, and you're like, oh. Good God, what is going on here? All right, Bill Pullman might be part of the clan and that, and it's like, all right, but again, it's filmed really well. It looks well. Has a little fight. He has baby, which the baby just kind of disappears by the end of the movie. He buys another puppy as well. But and a spoiler alert: the twist of it is it's very. It's completely not a happy ending. I was just like, is this really going to happen? And you're watching it, and he's in jail, and Jodie Foster's like, you're not him, you are him. The judge is confused, everyone else is confused. I'm confused at this point, and I'm trying to think, what's the hook? After all these years, I'm talking nearly 30 years, what's the hook? And I'm not talking about your shoe size. What is the hook? And it's very subtly mentioned, Richard Gere, you spent 4 years in prison with this guy he's meant to be, and just what happens to look like him. And he just so says, oh, we could have been brothers. And it's just right. So very, 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 not, right under the radar, swept right under the rug. Because, again, I'm editing on that computer, Spike's screaming away in the corner. And I was just like, if I hadn't paid attention, I would have completely missed the fact that he said, oh, we could be brothers. And he'd get, right, so you were twins. And no, it's never been explained that you're twins. But again, it's not they might not be twins. That's just what you got to take away. But again, about him, he gets rid of his lawyer, and then James Earl Jones is just he has a massive run-in with the leader of the clan. He's like, right, you're going to prison, and he's like, oh yeah, and then it just fades. And next thing you know, they're selling the crops, and they've made loads of money, and they're over the moon that they're going to rebuild the fence. And then Richard Gere gets hanged, and you're like, what did I miss? What have I missed? From him saying, right, I didn't murder the guy because I'm not that guy, but then I am that guy. Did he get? I don't understand why they hung him. I really don't. And you think Jodie Foster's come to save him at the end, and no, and it's just But again, it's I'm glad I've seen it now. Again, this is what review Rant Randoms are, sitting on a rickety dickety chair. But again, I was just I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people say I like watching old films and discover them. And yeah, just look at when I've watched Tales of the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, and they're stories. You know what I mean? When you get fascinated by stories, but that golden era of VHS, especially Warner Brothers, as I say, it's the list. There you go, the Warner Brothers list, but Harry Potter's inside. But for this never to be bought, and it's sitting on the shelf for free for £1, I give it a watch. And I said it's a bit of a baffling one, but so heavily advertised at that era of the early 90s, you know what I mean, with VHSs and the yellow font at the bottom of the screen. So yeah, review Rant Randoms again. I know people have missed them, but again, I don't want to do loads, you know, because I'll start ranting about every movie I watch. At least that one has some justification for how long it's been. Right, see you in the outtakes.
Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling?
Hello, and welcome to Review Rant Random. Now, it's been a very long time since I've done a Review Rant Random, technically. I say technically, because this video is getting released. We're a bit on the slant. Review Rant Randoms are quite a bit random, so the camera is a bit slanty, I don't know why. So yeah, I did a Review Rant Random yesterday for the first time in about a year for Sommersby. Like, what? Yeah, so get ready for Sommersby down the line. Hello. You've just seen Spike randomly, rah, you know, like there. I've just been thinking about what the outtake could be. And I rang Abraham and he's out somewhere, so I thought that'd be quite interesting, but he doesn't want to do it. Echo Line, I think, are playing right now in the background. I've just realised that the October unboxing has the wrong title sequence at the start. So at the start it comes up Weird, Wacky But Wonderful for the Lost Boys. I'm like, fucking well done. But I changed it, but like I unsaved something by accident or a glitch, you know, sometimes software, like especially when you're moving the file around that big. Can I be literally to remaster that file and upload it? You know what I mean? It's an hour and a half. It's something like 16.7 gig. Do you know what I mean? It'll take a week to upload, and I've got other stuff to, not in a full week. Do you know what I mean? Pretty much the whole day. I'm going to see Ghostbusters tonight, so you know, Afterlife. So yeah, that wraps up Sommersby. Perfect outtake. If you spot it, you spot it. You know what I mean? I think that's the first time I've done it in a while, but and again, that's what happens when you're late night editing, trying to put stuff together, and you know, welcome to a Twilight Zone. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.